Where do you put and organize your agentic platforms? And for this episode of AI Insights with John Roese, we're going to do another quick hit on agentic, this time about topology. One of the things that we've learned is that while people are very excited about autonomous agents, and we clearly expect them to be very useful and important as we go into 2026, okay, great. You have agents, they run on platforms. Do you just put these platforms anywhere? Do you care where they are? Do you care how they're connected? Do you care how they're organized? And the answer on all of that is you definitely care. An agent is, you could call it a digital worker, you could call it an autonomous entity. The bottom line is it's a very important thing that does work for you. The idea of not caring where it does the work and what environment it's in, whether or not it's secure and trustworthy, that makes absolutely no sense if you take a step back. So because it's so important, we think topology matters. And one of the things that you must do as you start thinking about using agents in your enterprise is, do you have a point of view and have you established rules about what topology your agentic platforms should exist in? Now, there are many answers to, there's no right or wrong answer, and there are many answers I could give you, but let me give you the Dell answer of what we are doing internally. We concluded that first, early on, we thought that you could build like one agentic platform and use it for everything. We very quickly dispelled that thought. We realized that agents are tied to work, and work exists in many places. Some of that work is in business units and other organizations. Some of the work that makes Dell run is done by our partners and third parties and systems that we don't directly control. If we believe that all of that work could in fact be powered or augmented by autonomous agents, it would be ridiculous to say the only place you could run an agent is on one platform in this one place. So we immediately realized that agentic systems are going to be a distributed topology. There's not going to be just one place. There are going to be places where you need agents because there is work that agent needs to do in that environment. Some of those will be on-prem in your environment. Some of them will be in third parties. And the reality is, once you realize that, you inevitably get to a distributed topology. Now, what kind of distributed topology makes the most sense? Well, there's lots of good answers there. Again, our answer is we adopted what we call a two concentric ring model, that we have built a core ring of agentic platforms that are fully under our control. They exist in our data centers, they're operated by our people, and they provide us with two capabilities. The first is by having our own agentic platforms, we are able to build agents that do very specific things to Dell and our data that we want to do that no one else would do. And that we have a lot of proprietary data, a lot of systems that are very controlled, and the ability to build our own agents and use them to bring agentic behavior to those systems in Dell and those tasks that would be difficult to do in other ways is a very powerful tool. The second reason for the inner ring, though, is that it gives us a control point. Because if I have a place where I control the agentic behavior, I control those platforms fully, I can trust it. But because of protocols like A to A and other interworking protocols, we expect agents to talk to each other. And while I may not be able to control all the platforms where all the agents that work on my behalf live, if I can control a platform in the center that they all have to go through, then I have an ability to control the end-to-end communication. And so we're using that core platform not just to build agents for Dell purposes and our own internal use, which we are, but we're also using it as a control point where we will use agents to act as intermediaries. It's also the place where we will deploy agentic proxies, ALGs, gateways, other capabilities to control the agentic communication of our entire federated topology. The outer ring, however, is very different, because there we realize that there will be multiple agentic systems that exist, some on our environment and many of them by our partners who help our business units do what they do. And so acknowledging that, we've decided that there would be an outer ring of fit for purpose agentic platforms, some that we control and some that we consume. And the reality is that's perfectly okay. We have a few rules. We don't allow them to talk directly to each other without going through the inner ring. More importantly, we've also specified interworking protocols, like we require them to use agent to agent as the protocol to communicate between agentic platforms. And we require that all of them sit underneath our identity and observability framework. Bottom line is there will be lots of answers about what kind of topology you need or want to set up and make sure that your agentic systems that run your or help your business run are done in a way that's trustworthy and predictable. But the most important decision you can make is to have an opinion about your topology, whether it's the two concentric ring model I described or some other topology. Having an opinion about where agents run and how those various places interwork with each other is essential to keep them under control. So this will be an ongoing topic, But my advice to you is establish an opinion about the topology of where agentic platforms should exist and how they should interwork in your enterprise.